guys, it's Housewife in Heels. So today we have yet another unboxing. Now, I'm not mad at it. I don't think you guys are mad at it. I don't think that unboxings necessarily get tired around here. And I've just been receiving shoes left, right, and sideways. Of course, I'm definitely not upset at it. It is one of my favorite kinds of videos to film. Now, with that being said, I am always so appreciative of you guys. You guys make all these unboxings possible. You guys made this collection possible, which is now spilled over into cabinet number 2, which is more than halfway full. So I'm always so appreciative, so overwhelmed, just so mind blown at how amazing you guys have been to me, so kind you guys have been to me. It's just, I'm really just from the bottom of my heart so grateful for you. But let's go ahead and get into why we're here, which is of course the shoes. So in this little box, I have a pair of shoes that are probably around 15 years old. If it wasn't evident by the thumbnail, by the title even, then I guess you're in for a little treat. So this is my second pair of Daffodile pumps from Louboutin. If you are sort of familiar with fashion history, then you would know that 10 years ago, these shoes were the shoes that every sort of fashion-forward influencer type individual was wearing. How they wore them, I don't know, but they did. So let's go ahead and do my little 360 of one of them and go from there. Oh, and look at Tiny Tiger sitting there lounging, getting comfortable. I wish I could get on his level, but that'll have to wait until after I show you guys these. So here is our wonderful inner quarter, our almond shaped toe box, which I will say to the moon and back that I would love for almond toes to come back in style, just because I happen to really appreciate them. We have our outer quarter, our steep crazy heel, and we have our sole, which have definitely been worn. And I always find it so fascinating whenever I get used shoes, because it's always kind of interesting to me to see how people would take care of their shoes. Now, this particular individual did wear them and decided painting over the wear was their method of keeping their shoes the way they like them. I personally wouldn't do it. I'd be more inclined to take them to a cobbler, but that is just me. Now, let's go ahead and get this guy's buddy out because it's looking awful lonely over here. So let's give it back its friend, and we can go from there. Now, if you are watching this inquiring about sizing, have no fear, I am here. Generally speaking, what you're going to want to do is you are going to need to determine what your size is in a Louboutin pump. Whatever your standard size is for a pump, that is going to be your size for these, because it's not like you could just go to the boutique and say, hey, I want to try on a pair of Daffs, and you certainly can't go in and say, hey, I'd like a custom order of Daffs, please. Well, at least not for most people. I would assume if you have enough connections, enough money, enough whatever, you can get whatever you want, but I am not one of those people. So I'm just going to take what I could get. Now that we've gotten through the sizing spiel, I'm gonna get into a completely different spiel, just Daff oriented. Now, if you watched my other unboxing, I explicitly say, I tell you guys, these are the most unstable things I have ever worn in my life. They feel like they're bending underneath me, and when you're wearing a pair of heels and they're bending, that is quite nerve-wracking, a little bit scary. So it's not necessarily a good feeling And you guys gave me feedback. Some of you said that you have had a pair of Daffs and you experienced the same thing. Some of you have said you have a pair of Daffs and your Daffs didn't do that to you. So I have a little hypothesis as to why this may be. Now, Daffs are not exactly the newest shoes out there from Louboutin, so the methods and means of manufacturing were probably not as good 10-15 years ago as they are today. So you have to take that into consideration. Then, just the age of the shoe itself. Generally speaking, aging is not exactly great when you're trying to keep your shoes in tip-top shape. So I would assume, just like most objects in this world, they are subject to degrading over time. So this could very well be another factor at play in regards to the Daffs and their sort of notorious instability. Now, something else you might want to consider is that this heel, let me show you one just so that way we're not focusing on two. You'll notice that, I'm gonna put this down for a second. You'll notice that it wants to curve inward. Now, I find shoes with this particular style where they're wanting to do that curve, naturally they'll want to bend in as you wear them. So I think it's sort of a perfect storm. Hopefully this is making sense to you. So with the manufacturing probably not being as up to snuff as it is today, with the shoes being so old and subject to wear and tear, just like any other items out there, and just with the shape and the height of the heel, it just kind of makes this style particularly prone to bending. But that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're all just gonna want to bend on you. But other than that, I think that will about do it for this unboxing. If you would like to support me, I would like to think as of filming, memberships are now available. If you'd like to further support me, then like, comment, subscribe, all the things. If that's not enough, there's always TikTok. You can go ahead and follow me there. If that's not enough for you, I always have Poshmark link down below. If you purchase something from me, that'd be amazing. If you don't, that's fine too. Or if you'd like to support me on Patreon, starting at $3 a month. I appreciate every single one of you there. And now, let's go ahead and try these puppies on. And as always, I'll see you in the next pair of shoes.